adjusting how the image is cropped. So we can, by default, iMovie doesn't show the whole image, but a part of it, and if we scroll along our image here, we can see that it's moving. So if we click on the little crop tool here, we can come back over here and we can edit what's happening to those movements. So we can see we've got a green start box and a red end box. And right now the start box is selected because it's got the bright area and the rest of it's kind of grayed out. And we can actually adjust the size of this box. So we can start at a fairly small part of the image, and we can see how the center of our start box moves to where the center of the end box is. And if I click on end here, now it's selected, and I can move it so that we're actually, and I'll just make it even a bit smaller, so we're actually going to kind of zoom and move up the building, which will be very dramatic, and we can test it out here. There we go. So that's certainly much more dynamic and interesting than the default Ken Burns effect, which is what this cropping and or scaling and panning movement is. So we're going to click done for that. And this other one, if we don't want to have all these extra buildings here and we just want to crop and just show that one, I'm going to do the same thing. Click on the crop tool here. And instead of Ken Burns, I'm just going to click on crop. And now we only have one box. We have the green box. And we can resize it, and it's going to keep the same shape as the overall video window. So that 4:3 ratio that we set at the beginning is the aspect ratio. And then I can position, exactly where that is. Click done, and we're zoomed in. And so that's not going to move or do anything. We're just going to see a static shot of this building. So that's another thing we can do. And one last thing we can try is the fit setting, which is going to show the whole image, but you can see here that we're going to have a black band on the left and the right of the image because of it's a portrait shot, and we can't fit the whole thing in without showing some black. But we'll show that just as an example of what you can do. And this first image, if we do the fit, we can see that it actually fits perfectly because the digital camera has the same aspect ratio, 4:3, as this video window does. So that will stop it from panning, but we do get to see the whole thing without any black bands around it. So feel free to play with those settings for your different clips to make your movie as interesting as possible.